Hi there, today we're going to look at a 10 mark question, and it's a 10 mark explain question looking at reasons why there are many single parents. So looking at a 10 mark question, it should be in between 3 to 4 paragraphs, and it's an explain question, so make sure you use the word because on many occasions, and you should be looking at your sentence structure of point, evidence, effect, or reason, explain, example, or reason, explain further, whichever one you prefer. And you should be aiming to spend between 10 and 15 minutes on this question in an exam. So moving on to the structure of how I would structure my paragraphs and what keywords I would include within here. First, looking at the reasons why there has been more single parents nowadays is linked to careers and choice. Women are now having more choice than they did in the 1950s, and therefore often may put their careers before having a family, or in fact if they've got a family, then because they've got a fear of a career, they are able to make a choice if they wish to leave their husband and become a single parent. And often because they are earning good money, they are able to support their child too. So there's certainly more choice in today's society for women, and because of that it has resulted in more single parents. Secondly, changing of norms. It's now more accepted within society to be a single parent. If you look back on previously the 50s, where it was frowned upon to get divorced, it's now, if you're a single parent, it's very much accepted, and there's plenty of support mechanisms within the government to support single parents, and rightly so. My third point I'm going to bring in is a bad experience. If a woman or a man has been in a bad experience, then they are less likely to remarry. So if there has been a bad experience, then that may result in people becoming single parents, and obviously because of a bad experience they may not wish to meet somebody else and remarry or form a different family structure. So these are the pictures to support my views, and the final one off the bottom left is there's also role models and also feminist perspectives also helping particularly women and fathers become single parents. And it's pretty well publicised about J.K. Rowling, but she was in a unhappy marriage and became single, and when she became single she used her spare time to start writing the famous book that is Harry Potter, and basically wrote the book as a way of pleasure. And one of her views were, she says there's prejudice in society against single parents, and now that she's rich she actually donates money to single parent charities, which obviously acts as a fantastic role model. She says single parents do not want to live on benefits but want a chance to support their children properly. She says being a single parent is better than living in an unhappy marriage, which or relationship, which then links into a bad experience. And then just looking at some key terms and key words what you can bring into here. Obviously feminism is a key word within there. Anne Oakley also talks about inequality of women in society, and talks about the inequality within the family due to traditional roles still existing, that women are expected to live a double burden or a triple shift, which, as we know, a double burden working and then looking after the housework in terms of all traditional roles. A triple shift also, the addition to that is looking after all the emotional sides of the family. There's also other areas that bring about single parents, why they're single parents, but nowadays things are expensive, and Gibson talks about divorce rates are on the increase due to financial state of marriage, and often the financial situation causes couples to separate and therefore become single parents. It's a lot easier now to get mortgages, where mortgage companies are taking both the husband and the wife's wage into consideration when giving mortgages. So some people, like Gibson says, become in a position where financially they cannot cope, which often then results in a bad experience of a relationship breaking down, the relationship, and then becoming single parents. Dobash and Dobash, also feminists, talk about domestic violence and said many wives suffer domestic violence and therefore leave their husband, which again links into the bad experience in relation, saying that, you know, if there is domestic violence on either side, then people are in their rights, and rightly so should leave their partners and basically become a single parent. And the final one I want to talk about is Abbott and Wallace, who talk about domestic violence too. The trigger for violence is the male perception that their partner is failing in their duties, and they speak about that some men still presume that women should take care of all the domestic work within the household, and therefore again causing a bad experience which can then lead to single parenthood. And just finally, just to clarify and just bring things to this is how I would structure it, just a very simple format. The first reason that I'm in single parents is, and then I would just go through each reason, structuring and bringing in the different sociological perspectives that I've just discussed there to gain your to gain the best marks possible. So I hope that supported you. Thank you.